Hey, Michael, digitaltshirtshop.com. This morning I got up and I was looking through my websites and I found that I had on my Amazon website about a $200 fee for professional services. Well, I don't have to pay $200 that I don't know about or that I don't have to. So I called Amazon and tried to figure out what the fee was for. As I went looking back through, about a year or more worth of statements from them. Now this isn't with Digital T-Shirt Shop because that hasn't been around long enough, but it's with my other Amazon site. But it's informative. Um, it turns out it was half of a cent for every listing that has not sold in the last 12 months. Now, I know previously I've mentioned on here that they were going to charge me half of a cent for everything that I had over 100,000 products. Now they're going to charge me half a cent for everything I have that has not sold in a year. So Amazon always plays a little game to try to charge you for something. And in this case, they're going to charge me for this now. And I know I do FBA as well, and they do the same thing in FBA, so it's completely expected. With FBA selling, if it's listed it used to be for 12 months, and if you actually had the inventory in Amazon and it didn't sell, they would start charging you long-term storage fees, and then they bumped it up to 6 months. Which is hard because you know I mean, if you're trying to determine whether it'll sell well, or you send too much, or the sales pattern changes, and you've sent 100 units and you've been selling 100 units every 1 to 2 months, and then all of a sudden it drops to 5 units, and within 6 months you're still sitting on 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 units, and then you've got to do a, a a call tag to have everything pulled back to you so that you don't get the long-term storage fees, or you got to weigh the fee versus what you're selling the product for and determine whether it's still profitable to leave it there. But either way, it ends up being expensive. You pay a lot of money to bring it back to you. You pay a lot of money to leave it there. In the end, Amazon makes money. They never lose money. So it's always beneficial to them. So anyhow, as far as this goes, I've talked to a bunch of people there. I've got kind of a plan to go and fix this. It's going to probably involve me going and doing some sort of analysis and some spreadsheets and VLOOKUPs and mapping products and trying to determine what I have there versus what is sold. With the new ones with Digital T-Shirt Shop, I think I'm in a little bit better position because I've got the spreadsheet for every individual product. With my previous account, my other account, I've got tons of products all listed together in these big spreadsheets, and the only way I'm going to find what I'm looking for, determine whether it's sold or not or should be purged or not, is some sort of analysis on it and mapping sales to the products and all those things. So it's all yeah, I mean, it's kind of challenging. I'm gonna have to end up watching things a lot closer. It will give me about 12 months to test products to see how well they'll sell. Clearly, I understand why Amazon does it, and I don't necessarily fault them for it. They obviously data costs, data space costs money, and to have that many items and that many products and that many images and all that space taken by things that are not selling doesn't help anybody. I'm obviously not benefiting from it. They obviously have a cost associated with each item that's listed. And so I understand getting it pulled, getting it purged. And I've got some ways to do that. We just probably have to look at it and list other items. I don't think there's a way. Selling apparel's a little hard. You've got so many product variations: men's, women's, boys, girls, children's, boys, infants, girl infant, boy toddler, girl toddler. If I could just list one from one size all the way to the bottom, like all the men's, and leave out all the women's, that would be easy. But I'm afraid I'll lose all the women's sales. And I do sell a lot of women's and girls and girl, infant, even though they, in the youth all the way through the infant, they're all the same shirt. They're not necessarily a girls versus boy. The boys, they're a unisex shirt, but Amazon doesn't give you the unisex option. So, I'm going to have to figure out with that exactly what I'm going to do to minimize it. Obviously, if I have men's and women's, I've got I don't know, 11 options that I've 12 options, 13 options I've got to sell, versus if I just had men's, I might have 5 or 6 options that I have to sell in order to avoid some of these fees. But if I did the half cent and looked at the 200 items, that's nearly 40,000 items that haven't sold on there. So there's obviously a lot of cleaning up I can do. And there's obviously a lot of things that nobody has an interest in. So simple as that. So I guess it's a little bit of a lesson. It'll be more work, but we'll try to figure it out. So that's what I've got for you today. This digitaltshirtshop.com. Like us, subscribe, and follow us, and you'll hear how business is going and whether we do achieve t-shirt glory. I'm calling t-shirt glory 20 shirts a day in sales with digitaltshirtshop.com. We're still at 1. We've got a long ways to go, but follow us and you'll follow and see the journey as we try to achieve it. We'll see you.